Good evening. Good evening. It's 7 p.m. Wednesday. I'm Ali Shamsuddin, and this is Standing for the People. As I always say, this program is brought to you by the people. And when I say the people, I mean citizens, just like yourself, who got together and decided that we need another program on the air like we used to do. Myself and Mr. Charles Tisdale, who was the publisher of the Jackson Advocate, largest African-American newspaper in Mississippi. We used to do a show on Friday nights, Views from the Black Side. And this show is in that vein in that this is not a gossip show. This is not a gossip show. We are here to bring facts that we can deal with, facts that we can use, facts that we can try to make our lives better. And most of all, facts that we can begin to put people in office that are over our tax dollars, that will spend them in a manner that we all can benefit from. And the first way we can do that, is register and vote. We got to register and vote. You know, there's this attitude out there and this narrative that they want to put out there in the community that voting don't matter, that it's always going to stay the same no matter what. But we got to realize voting is local. Voting is local. We have to learn how to put people in these offices that understand why we put them there. You know, particularly for us as African Americans, we fought and struggled. Those who came before us fought, bled, died, went to jail, got beat, lost jobs, harassed, in order for us to get our right to vote, to overcome all those schemes that they had put in place to keep us as African Americans from voting. And now that we are in a position to vote, we got to use that. You see, because we have to understand we have a unique situation here in Jackson. We have a unique situation here in Hinds County. We have a unique situation in the state of Mississippi, even. But here we are, almost 90% of the population in Jackson, same for Hinds County, which means we're in the position that we run the government. I'm not saying that in no negative way. I'm saying that's the way it is. That's in a democratic society. We got the numbers, so we should be running these positions. And the only way we're gonna do that, is exercise our right to vote. Now, last week I was at community meeting that was put on by one of our supervisors, county supervisors, Deborah Dixon. And she had several officials, city and county officials, some elected, some appointed, at this community meeting. And while I was sitting there and I was listening to them, this one young lady struck me, and she said, "I'm the comptroller for Hinds County." So I said, "Wow!" I said, "That we need to find out what that is and what she does, you know." So she agreed to come, and here she is. And that, again, to me, that says a lot about a person in terms of keeping their word. When they say they're going to do something, you can look up and there they are. They fulfilling their word. And who I'm talking about now is Dr. Kehlani Vantage. And first of all, what I'd like for you to do is tell us something about your background, where you come from, you know, and, you know, how do you come about this degree and all of that? You know, people need to know that.
They need to know who I am so they can take my word when I say certain stuff. I got you.
There you go.
My name is Dr. Kehlani Vantage. I'm originally from Mount Olive, Mississippi, so that's Covington County.
Okay.
As far as education wise, I have a whole lot of degrees.
Go ahead with them.
So I have a bachelor's degree.
You earned them.
I did. I really did. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting and a bachelor's degree in management information systems.
Okay.
I have a master's in business administration, and I have a PhD in public policy and administration.
Okay. So now, this position that you have now, this is an appointed position, is it not? Or how do they go about putting you in that position?
Well, the job announcement was on Indeed. I applied. They interviewed me, looked at my background and my education, and they hired me.
Okay, when you say they, who would they be?
Okay, it was a panel. It was like 5 different people there, because the comptroller is a very important position, and basically they're going to be over, that position is over all the finances for Hinds County.
Okay.
And so it was so many people there interview me, like I said, it was 5, that they wanted to make sure that they got the right person.
Okay, so we have 5 supervisors at each.
It wasn't a supervisor. It was like the county administrator, human capital development director. It was a chancery clerk, a deputy chancery clerk, and it was human resources.
Okay, so now how long have you been in this position?
A year and 4 months.
Okay, so now comptroller, I'm trying to say it correctly.
Comptroller, yes.
Okay, so I looked that up. You have a whole list of responsibilities that you have to do, you know. So, yes. But mainly you say you are over the money, or you? That's summing
it up, because there's so many different areas that the comptroller touch. But the most important part is the finances.
Okay, so now when you say over the money, do you actually write the check?
No.
What was your day-to-day?
My day-to-day operation, I'm over the areas that write the checks, or I'm, just basically kind of a high level, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, making sure policies are being followed, make sure internal controls are adhered to. It's just, bank reconciliations, making sure everything is posted correctly in the system. Because the main thing with finance, you want to be able to pass an audit.
Right.
And the audit is very important for any business, local government, non-for-profit, because that determines your funding.
Okay.
And if you don't have your audits done, then it's going to be very difficult for federal and state agencies to grant money to anybody that didn't have their audit done.
Now, one of the things that we talked about here on this show, and quite often was the city of Jackson not having an audit done in years. Tell us about the county now. What kind of situation are we looking at there?
Well, right now we're working on fiscal year 23 and 24.
Okay.
We're just about wrapping it up, and the only year that's left to be done is 25, and then we'll be totally current on all our audits.
Okay. So now I saw one of the responsibilities you have is terms of not just knowing what's in the budget, but it has something to do with investing. Does the county do any investing, you know?
We got to get to that point. We will eventually. We will eventually. That's part of the plan. But before we can do that, we gotta get the foundation strong.
Okay.
Like, we gotta make sure that, you know, we're spending the money wisely, so we'll have money to invest. The county does have like investment accounts that earn interest. So it's not like they don't have any investment, they just have small ones. And I want us to get to the point where we could do more.
So what is the budget looking like now as a whole?
Like, our overall budget for the fiscal year that we're currently in is 79 million. And that covers the entire county, all the different departments that report up to the board of supervisors. That's everything.
Okay, so that's $75 million for the county.
79.
79
Yes.
million for the county.
Yes.
Is that the total year or quarterly?
That's a whole year. That's for the whole fiscal year.
Okay. Now, would you keep track of all that money or where it's gonna go?
Yes.
Okay, so who decides where it's gonna go? I know we say the supervisors, but
Well, they do have to approve it.
Right.
They have to approve it. So basically whatever the supervisors core priorities, whatever their priorities are, we make sure those get handled within the budget. And then, you know, we meet with all the different departments to see what their needs are. And then we structure the budget based on their needs and availability of cash.
Okay, so now we got 5 supervisors, right?
Mhm.
Each supervisor allotted an amount of this money?
All their money is pooled into one cost center, basically, which is a department. It's all their money is pooled into one budget.
Okay.
And that's specifically for the supervisor. Like, you know, sheriff department has their own budget, you know, purchasing, inventory, all the different departments within Hinds County Board of Supervisors have their own budget.
Okay, so now you mentioned the sheriff's department. Are their budget within this 75,
They are.
79? I don't know why I'm on 75, 79 million.
They are.
They
yes.
are. And
Yes.
then you'll oversee that as well?
When they have a finance
person.
person in the sheriff department, because the sheriff department has different departments that fall under the sheriff. So they actually have a finance person that's there that monitors their budget closely. But I do also monitor as well.
Mhm. So how would they go about telling you what they need? I mean, supervisor, do you get to tell them, well, we don't have that money? Do you have that type of authority, or what happens?
When they pretty much been pretty good about not really spending over their budget. Certain things they were asked for, if it's within their budget and they have the funds available, they could go ahead and get it.
Right.
Because it's like they get a pot of money, and how they use it is how they use it.
Okay.
You know, they hadn't done anything crazy or outrageous, but they don't have to ask every time they purchase something, can I buy it? If it's within the budget that they get, they can get it. And each department they get their budget, and it's effective October 1st, which is the beginning of our fiscal year.
Mhm.
And everybody have their pool of money. They know that money have to last until September of the following year. And if
Okay.
they run out of money, they gotta stop spending.
So if they run out of money, that's just it. Huh?
That's it. That's
Okay.
all they got until the next fiscal year.
So now let's talk about where this money comes from.
Okay.
We always talk about taxes and whatnot, but specifically, what are we talking about?
Okay, so the money comes from, of course, it comes from the taxpayer of Hinds County by way of property taxes, tax, you know, mobile home taxes, just different types of taxes that a citizen pay in Hinds County.
Mhm.
That also funded, and then we also get money from federal government if we have a grant. States sometimes allocate money to the
Will
county.
you automatically get money from the federal government?
No, not automatically.
Not automatically.
No.
So you have to submit a proposal? or something?
Normally it's a application that you have to fill out and submit, you know, the application or proposal, or normally it's the grant application you have to submit.
Okay, so now of this 79 million, we talked about businesses coming in and leaving Jackson.
Yes.
So
Yes.
do they play a big part of this or what's
They
happening?
pay a big part of it as far as sales tax and different property tax. Most of the time businesses pay property tax for their business, and that plays a big part. So if a business leaves, those tax dollars are going with them wherever they end up going.
Wherever they go.
Yes.
So are we experiencing a lot of businesses leaving Hines County?
Well, because I live in Byron, I don't see the entire county, so I can't speak for every one of our areas in Hines County, but I can speak for what I see
Okay.
in Jackson and in Byron. Byron has been pretty good. They hadn't had businesses leaving, but I see a lot of businesses leaving Jackson.
Yeah. And now we hear the supervisor saying that we're gonna fix roads and we're gonna fix bridges and do that come to you? They have to come to you and find out how much money they got to do this, or how do they go about doing it?
Yes, I get asked that a lot. How much money do they have, or do we have enough? So I work closely with Public Works to make sure they have the money they need to go and either repair or fix whatever road or bridges that they need to fix.
Mhm.
So I'm in constant communication with them. And they have their list of roads and bridges that they, have to fix. And from my understanding, they really couldn't do anything in the winter months, the cold months, because of the stuff got to freeze, asphalt or whatever. When it's cold, it's not good to do that.
Okay.
So they're picking up,
Okay.
now to go ahead and start building or repairing bridges and roads. But yeah, I make sure they have the funding available to do that.
Okay. Now, as I said, this is the call-in show. As those regulars out there, we take your calls. But for those who don't know, it's 601-948-5950. And I have Dr. Vanish here, who is the comptroller for Hines County. And if you have any questions concerning our tax dollars, that's going to go through her office at some point. So
now the tax collector collects the money. I just make sure it gets put in the right spot.
Right. So, and speaking of that, because I've had Eddie Fair on the show, he
Yes.
talks about quarterly he gives money to the county. How's that done?
Yeah, now that's what he gives to the county quarterly. That's what I'm responsible for overseeing.
Okay. So now, do you have a department that works under you, or do you do all of this yourself?
No, well, right now, yeah. But because the departments that report to me directly right now is the budget office and inventory. And we're trying to structure everything else because I'm a stickler for foundation. Make sure the foundation of it is right before we start bringing other layers in.
Now, how about the county schools? Does their budget come through you, or how's that?
Okay, with the county school, there is a millage that we collect and we send the money directly to the county. That's not included in that number.
And that's 79 million.
Right, that's not included in 79 million.
Okay, but would you be over that and seeing what's done with it?
Nope. Once they get their check, they have a CFO for Hines County School District that I met, and he's really knowledgeable, and he's the person that's responsible for structuring the budget for Hines County School District and making sure that the money is spent the way it should be.
Okay, now you talk about village. Who in fact, I guess the tax assessors who would determine what percentage of taxes we're paying?
Okay, so the way this works, like the tax assessor, they go and assess the value of the land.
Mm-hmm.
And they give me a sheet, assess valuation. And from that, I take that sheet and calculate what the millage rate is going to be.
So you actually calculate it out. Okay, so how are we doing there? Are we going up in millage? People paying more nowadays than they were, let's say, 2 or 3 years ago?
They are paying slightly more.
Okay.
Yes, but yeah, they are.
Is that making up for the shortfall?
It is.
That we have. I kind of researched what you're doing because I wanted to know, but I see there was a whole list of things that
the comptroller does. Yes.
Comes under you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are you working on getting the staff to help you out over there?
I am working on it. But because of the limited resources that we have, we got to make sure all the departments have what they need as well. I can't be selfish and just hire up a bunch of people knowing other areas have a greater need as well.
Right.
So that's where that.
Okay, we got a caller here. Go ahead, call you on there.
Judge, how you doing? Pastor Jackson.
How you doing? How you doing, my brother? I'm good to hear you. How you doing?
Well, man, it's always be good to be heard, Judge. It is good to see you, and it is to review you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Question tonight, and I don't know if she knows, but she seems to be a pretty smart young lady.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
She has a tough job, and one day she's gonna make us all proud.
I'm sure
Here's
she
the
will.
question.
Mhm.
Is there anything you know and I know, Judge? You went to school there at Linnell. That bridge there for Pastor P.J. Williams is been out for 2 or 3 years. They put him in the hospital and he got to leave here because of that. They done run that man stone crazy. They done lied to him. They done did everything but nail him to the cross. And enough is enough. And we are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the right thing, Judge. Our people need to know that vote do count.
Absolutely. Now, I bet you want to ask her if there's any money in that budget over there for that bridge.
Yeah, if there's any money in that budget to fix the bridge, because that bridge ain't worth 2 dead flies now.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Pastor William needs some help. And I want the world to know we're going to come by growth. We ain't playing now.
And I know you, Pastor. I know you, Pastor Jackson, and when you say that, you mean it. We're gonna let us. Tell us what we got over there.
okay. So to answer your question, I can't tell you.
I believe she can answer. I believe she can answer.
Now, there are funds available to fix roads and bridges. I can't say whether or not that particular bridge is on his list.
Mhm.
I don't see why I wouldn't, but that is a question for Public Works.
Okay.
Because I don't know what all they
Yeah.
have to work on. I just make sure the money is there.
Now, Judge, you know, that bridge ought to been on the list.
It
It's been
should.
over 3 or 4 years.
Major thoroughfare, man.
Ain't no way in the world that bridge ought not be on the list. Now, what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing, we're going to have to do better who we put in office. I didn't vote for the man. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't vote for him.
Right.
I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to deal with you on the square. I didn't vote for him. I ain't going to say what I need to say, but one day I will say it. I did not vote for him. I know what was happening down the pipe. As well as you did when he did you wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. They did you wrong. It's the same thing what they did to David L. Archie.
Well, that seemed to be the game, Reverend Jackson. But see, with people like yourself, we're gonna get some other things done. I got another call,
Yeah,
Reverend
so
Jackson.
we
You
got
call us back.
All right, Judge. I thank you.
All right,
Stay
brother.
on the wall, Judge. I'm with you.
Yes, sir, brother. Let's see what this other caller got to say. Go ahead, caller, you on there.
Thank you for accepting my call. The question for the comptroller, why is it that Hines County has the highest millage rate in the state, yet our services tend to be lower than most municipalities?
I can't speak for other counties, but I know for Hines County, the millage that we do collect from the citizens of Hines County are used to cover all of our expenses. And also we have the jail that we're building, and it's covering that as well.
Yeah, I have seen where I have never experienced a decrease in millage in Hines County since being an adult. And it seems that ours I know that it's higher than any other county in this state. We have the highest millage rate. I would like, hopefully they can look for some economic development as opposed to taxing the citizens to death.
That's a good point, Carl. Thank you so much. Now, is there a particular formula? I mean, you just said that you work with
Calculate,
that.
yeah.
Okay, is there a particular formula that they go by? Or what?
It is, it's a very detailed formula to assess what the mill rate is gonna be, but it's based on the property. The assessed value of the property.
When you say assessed value of the property.
That's what the
it-
tax assessor go and do and tell you how much your buildings are and
Right.
different houses and stuff.
Okay, so if the call was just saying, according to the call, Hines County got the highest millage rate. Is that just because the capital city is here, or what would make that?
Well, it's based on the value of your house.
Okay,
Right. I mean,
but see, like a house in, let's say, Hines County, same square footage may cost more than a house in Simpson County.
well, what's the exact assessed value of the house? Because a house in Simpson County is not gonna cost as much as a house in Hines County.
Right, right. Okay, I think we, as they bargain up the thing. But, so this bridge over here, that the one he was talking about over here, on, Martin Luther King, actually. You don't know if it's on the list or not?
No, because I didn't look at the list. That's,
Mhm.
you know, 'cause that terribly works. That's their working list as they add to and take away from as they finish and new bridges and roads get added to that list. But to answer his question, there is funds available to fix whatever bridges are on that list for repairs.
Okay, so now speaking of the supervisors, each individual supervisor, okay? If this bridge is in this supervisor's, let's say, district, do they get a chance to say, I should be at the top of the list, or how would they go about doing it?
Well, it's not so much at the top of the list. It's based on the damage of the bridge and like the priority level of it. Like if it's a bridge that's in bad shape and it's an immediate danger to the citizens, that list will be higher on the list than a bridge that may not need as much work.
Okay, so now, to give an example, you take the mayor for the city of Jackson, right? In order for the mayor to spend X amount, well, I think it's over $10,000 out of the budget, it has to go through the city council, okay? The supervisors are the government over there, so how do they go about doing it? When they want to spend money, do they just come to you and say, we need a $10,000, $100,000?
Well, no, it doesn't work that way. What they do normally, they work with Public Works on what bridges need to be. You know, I'm using bridge as an example since that we were talking about like bridge XYZ need to be repaired. So Public Works will go look at bridge XYZ, and then if it's repairs that's going to be over $75,000, then it has to be bidded out.
Okay.
So they have to take bids, and that's state law. They have to take bids to, you know, see what vendor can repair the bridge.
Mhm.
They have a public viewing of all of the bids that the different contractors submit in to fix the bridge.
Okay.
And based on that information, you know, normally lowest bidder always win, and then they have to procure it. Like it had to go through the whole requisition process. You know, that's when they do the budget. That's when, well, we would identify the funds anyway before, but that's when they do like the final budget check before the requisition becomes a purchase order. Then after after they get the purchase order, that's giving the vendor the okay to go ahead and start the work.
Now, would all the supervisors have to vote on this, or you have to have a unanimous?
They normally vote on it at the bidding part. Like normally the Public Works director go, hey, you know, they'll request a motion to have a bid for bridge XYZ.
Yeah.
You know, so they approve it in the front end. But then it has to go through that process, you know, that procurement process.
People have talked about supervisors buying equipment and that type of thing. Do they get a certain amount of their budget that they can buy, let's say, a tractor without asking the rest of the supervisors or even just coming through you?
Well, the supervisor not buying the tractors.
Okay,
I'm gonna go ahead and say that part. They're not buying the tractors. What they do, Public Works is the person that comes to the board and say, I need equipment. Whether
okay,
it's a tractor, lawnmower, you know, they bought this weird thing with an arm that cut trees. They have to come before the board and ask, you know, can we buy this equipment?
Okay.
They approve it contingent on funds available.
okay.
And then that's where I come in
That's
to
where you
look and
come
see,
in,
yes,
To see if the funds are actually there.
yes.
So somebody, let's just say a supervisor might have an idea of something, but eventually it's gonna come back to you to decide whether or not
If we had the funds available for it.
to afford it. Huh? Okay, so I'm trying to, because we hear a lot about what supervisors are capable of doing, you know, and whether good or bad, we want to know, are they within their limits, and is there any checks and balances on how they spend money?
It is checks and balances because we have unsung heroes at Hines County that they are behind the scenes working. You know, the supervisor, they're the face of Hines County, so everybody's going to see them.
Right,
But behind the scenes, you have people that are making sure everything we do is legal and above board, so that way no one gets in trouble.
okay, okay. And I was just mentioning that in my last show last week, is that, you know, the general perception a lot of times when we put elected people in office, they think that we asking them to do underhanded things to get things accomplished in our community. And I'm hoping you're saying that that's definitely not the
No.
case, right? Right.
No, it's not the case.
Okay, so everything that we spend money on, you would know what it was spent on. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, okay. Again, we 601-948-5950. I have Dr. Vanish here, who's the comptroller for Hines County. She's the person that issues out the money, I guess. Am I saying that correctly?
Well, we have an accounts payable department that actually cut the checks,
Right,
you know, but
but you make sure it's there.
yes,
Okay, so nobody's spending money that's not there, in other words.
right.
Okay. Well, that was, I heard last week the city of Jackson is supposed to be $30 million in debt.
Oh, I heard that and I feel so bad for them.
So tell us about the county now. How we do?
Well, always in the beginning of a fiscal year, it's kind of a slow, you know, as far as collecting taxes and everything. The majority of our tax dollars come in between January and April. And so right now we're fine, you know,
Okay.
but we just got to stay within the budget.
Would that type of situation arise? And I'm talking to the person who would know, but
We're gonna hope because before it gets to that point, I'm jumping up and down hollering like, "Hey, look, we got to slow down." Because I don't ever want us to be in a situation where we got to make the hard decisions because we don't have the resources.
Hmm.
You know, so before we get to that part, I'm gonna say something.
Okay. So you'll be well aware if we teetering on the edge, as you say.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how about salaries and the amount? Are salaries comparable? I would say in Hines County.
You know, that's a yes and a no question for me because I always like to take care of people
Mhm.
because that's the backbone of any organization is the people.
Right.
You know, some people may think they don't get paid enough, you know, but we can't give raises willy-nilly because of the limited resources that we have and we got to make it stretch.
Mhm.
Whether or not it's comparable, I haven't did a deep dive in other counties, so I can't compare it to another county as to whether or not what our employees make is comparable to regional, like Rankin County or Madison.
Mhm.
You know, I just wouldn't know those numbers.
Okay, so outside of the sheriff's department, roughly speaking, how many departments would you be dealing with?
If I had to guess, it's like 20 something departments.
20 something?
Mhm.
Okay.
'Cause I had to think about how many individual budgets. So,
Okay.
yeah, so it's over 20 departments.
And that's including all the staff people that we see down there at the Chancery Court building and all that.
Yeah. Well, Chancery, even though we're in the same building, they're separate from the board of supervisors.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now, okay, let's say county judges, would they come under you? Budget wise or salary wise?
Some of them, yes.
They would.
'Cause, you know, some of them get paid through the state. and some of them get paid through the county. So
Through
it
the county.
depends on which.
County, I know circuit judges would be state, I think, but county judges would
They-
say come out of that
Yes.
79 million that we're
Yes, sir.
talking about. Okay, just asking you, since you've been there, what, a year?
A year and 4 months.
Uh,
That's what I stress that part. A year and 4 months.
What are some of the things that you would like to see happen?
I would like for us to get to a point where we could give raises to people, like a cost of living adjustment every year. I would love to see us get to a point to where we could do more in the community as far as offering more services.
Mhm.
You know, it's a lot of stuff I would like to see happen, but I'm the finance person in the background, so I'm not the decision maker.
Mhm.
But I will, as far as finances is concerned, I would love for us to have like, you know, a $20 million surplus in a CD somewhere, or invested in somewhere in
Mhm.
something, or pour that money into the economic development so we could attract businesses here. Because the more businesses we have here, the easier my job would be, because we'll have those tax dollars coming in.
Right. So now, surplus, do you foresee any time in the future we might be looking at something like that? I mean, as things going right now.
As things going, if we stay on track, yes.
No.
You know, we stay within a budget, and we, you know, I know based on even in our personal finances, things gonna come up that we don't anticipate.
Right.
So, you know, as long as there's not a lot of them, we'll be fine.
Oh, okay, okay. So now, business wise, I know that would include Hines County is clean, Hines County is, some of the areas that are developing something that helps out with it.
That does
right?
help, yes.
Yes, what's that, Continental Tire out there?
Yeah, in Clinton, they came, yeah.
Okay,
And then something is in the Metro Center where they do something with Styrofoam. I forgot the name of that company.
it's supposed to be coming.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. Tractor Supply is big in the county, that, are they
Yeah,
staying?
we hope.
We hope. Well, I mean, this is something that people are out on the street all the time. They want to know where's money. And then a lot of times people think that we are about to go broke. Can you dispel that?
Okay, so as long as the county has people in it that pay their taxes, it's not gonna go broke. Now, funds will get tight. You know, as think about now, the prices of almost everything is going up.
Right.
Well, if the budget was only for this $10, budget $10, something that you would normally get costs $8. Well, with tariffs, the war, gas prices going up, now that $8 item may cost $11. Well, that's $1 over budget.
Mhm.
So now we gotta make concessions. Okay, we gotta take that dollar from somewhere to make it balance. And so that's the situation. Really, it's beyond the county control. It's going on nationwide. The price of everything is going up.
So now, how often or how closely do you work with in the individual supervisors? Are they in and out of the office quite regular or what?
I won't say they're in and out of my office, but I get phone calls. You know, they're all nice. I think I have a good working relationship with each one of them. They have their unique, different personalities, and you know, you just answer the question that they ask, give them truthful information, have the support to back up what you say in case they need it, and then you know everything's been fine.
Good, good. Again, you know, if we have any questions out there or any comments you want to make, now's the time. We got the comptroller here, and I'm emphasizing this is the person who knows where the dollars are when it comes to Hines County. I'm saying that correctly, am I not?
Yeah.
And, so since you've been there this last year and 4 months, you know, have you seen anything that really would just make you think you made the wrong decision?
Well, anytime you go somewhere new, there's this learning curve, and people do things slightly different than I do.
Mhm.
As far as the people there, they have been amazing and very welcoming. I don't have anything to complain about as far as me working there, you know, because prior to me working at Hines County, I worked as a CFO in Canton at the utility place. And then I also worked at Jackson State prior to working there. So I've been in different industries,
Mhm.
and I like Hines County. It's nice. I like it.
So you can tell us as we're going along now, we seem to be in a strong position in terms of our dollars.
we're okay, but we could be stronger.
Okay, okay.
Like the lights are not gonna get cut off tomorrow. So we're okay.
I hope, Reverend Jackson, I hope you can say something for them that's be encouraging, because, you know, I'm a linear grad over there, and that Martin King Boulevard, that's a thoroughfare,
Okay.
and everyone is, you know, just, we really would like to
So
say.
Lanier, 833.
Hey,
I learned it, 833.
That's, so no particular, I would say supervisor will have any, let's say, upper hand on the other supervisor in terms of getting the job done.
Well, they have to have a majority vote.
Okay,
Yeah. So 3 people have to vote on whatever it is that they're trying to do.
okay. And again, I think I call you on. Go ahead, call you on that.
Hey, Judge, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well. I just needed clarification on the county budget. You know, we say that the county's budget is 270 million plus. And so now I'm here at 79, so I'm trying to see where's the discrepancy here.
Wow, now that is a discrepancy, Brother Gary. 270 million, you said?
Yeah, we always say that the county's budget is 250 million, 70 million, somewhere in that neighborhood. City's budget is about 300 million. Jackson Public Schools right at 300 million.
Right.
And so when we're saying things like that, then if we're misquoting or we need to be corrected, I need to understand that.
A good question, man.
Okay, well, thank you for that question. The 79 million that I mentioned, that's our operating budget. That's the budget that's our operating budget. Now
that's the operating budget.
Yes.
But your total budget for the county is almost 300 million.
Well, and here's the thing with that, all of it is not for the county per se. We may collect on behalf of like the Rankin Hines Water Association, the Flood Association, Hines County School District is part of that 200 million that you mentioned. What else? The library.
Okay.
So that's not all going to Hines County. That goes to different agencies.
Okay, but the dollars flow through the Hines County Board of Supervisors
Right.
jurisdiction.
They just flow through.
Okay.
We don't keep it.
Yeah. The second question is, did the county build the garage in Fondren? Does the county own the garage in Fondren? And how was that decision made?
So to answer your first question, yes, the county does own the Fondren Garage. How that decision was made right when I got there. So I'm kind of fuzzy on the details on how the decision was made, but the decision was made, and Hines County do in fact own the Fondren Garage.
You ask some good questions there, Brother Gary. Keep it going, man.
He got me up here thinking.
Facilities of the county owned for public use that's not a part of the county's day-to-day operation inside of that 300 million. Do they own other buildings, other garages?
The Fondren Garage is the only garage that they own. As far as how many county buildings?
No, wait, let's scrap that question for a minute.
Okay.
In terms of the detention center, did the county have to pass a bond to finance the detention center? And if so, what was the size of the bond?
Okay, you talking about the new detention center that they're building? Do they have to have a bond for that?
Yeah.
Yes, the answer to your question is yes.
Was it in the 20 million, 29 million range?
Let's see, phase 1, what was that? And see, if I would have known what I was gonna be asked, I would have brought stuff with me. But the phase 1 was in a million. I don't want to quote the wrong amount. Because I don't have those numbers in front of me.
Okay, my final question is, in these dollars, do we have any discussion on what should be minority participation for the local business community? Do we have any goals set there on all projects that are lit?
Now, that would be the big, as far, you talking about those big projects as far as the construction of the new jail?
Right.
Now, I do know that our project manager that they used, David Marsh, he is responsible for the subcontractors. And I do know he does have some minority vendors. I couldn't tell you every one of them, but to answer your question, yes, we are using minority vendors. There haven't been a goal that I know of, because I'm only finance. So there haven't been a goal that I know of as far as what percentage that we're gonna use minority vendors for.
That's a very deep question there, Brother Garrett. I'm glad you asked it too, as well, man, because, go ahead, man, go and finish up if you want.
My last question was that, as a resident of Hines County and a local business person, and I know how hard it is out here, when we have positions like project managers and things of that nature, which he just indicated to me that David Morris is the project manager for the county. And, David's a great guy, but they are competent, qualified African Americans that could be project managers for the county. That project manager doesn't build anything, they oversee construction.
Right.
Those are the kind of positions that seem like we would be forcing in-house inside our local Black business community. But just thank you so much for your show.
Right.
I'm enjoying it. I'll continue to listen.
All right, brother. Appreciate you calling in. Let me throw this out there as well. You see, because at the beginning of the show, I try to get us to understand. And when I say us, I'm talking about African Americans. I'm biting my tongue about that. We are the government. We are. When we say, when over there where you work, everybody that's your boss is African American.
Mhm.
The city of Jackson, everybody ready to make the decision basically is African American. So we shouldn't even be talking about minority participation. You understand what I'm saying? When we are the government, we're in a position to decide absolutely who gets what jobs. Now, you see, when we were fighting against when white folks were the majority in Hines County, when white folks were the majority in Jackson, then we had to talk about, okay, give us some of that work. Y'all gonna get all of it. So, give us some of it. But now we're in control of the whole thing. So there's no law that says Black folks couldn't have 90% of the job. You know what I'm saying? There's no law about that. But these are the things, and that's why I appreciate when I was saying earlier on, when you come in, people want to know these things.
Yeah.
And you're putting information out there, because a lot of times we talk about that $300-some million budget.
Right, and it's like, and I can see if they think the county has $3 million operating budget, I can see why people wonder where the money is.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah, but that's not it.
So I guess again, with the Hines County schools, it's just like Jackson Public Schools. Their budget has to be confirmed by the city council. But after that, the city council has no more say so about it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm asked the same thing with the county.
Yeah, because once they set, because the school district gets a millage.
Okay.
And once they get their monies, they have it,
So you're not overseeing it.
Nothing.
So I mean, the brother was asking some good questions.
And I'm glad because I would hate for the misconception to be out there that the county has a $200 million operating budget and we don't.
You don't. So we talking about, when you start talking about the board of supervisors, you talking about that 79 million.
Yes.
Brother David.
How you doing, Ali Shamsdeen, attorney?
I'm good, brother. It's good to hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. I don't know who the young lady is. I just tuned in a moment ago.
This is the comptroller for Hines County. This is Dr. Banish.
What is your name?
Dr. Banish. Banish.
How are you doing, young lady?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. I did want to just shine in just a little bit concerning the Hinds County parking garage, I think what the people want to know is how did the Hinds County parking garage and the funding come about? That parking garage came about with the guy that you're talking to on the phone. His name is David L. Archie. Had a discussion with state legislators, lieutenant governors, and other folks from state capitol, saying that they would like to put a parking garage in the funding, but they did not want to give the money to the city of Jackson. So they gave that money to Hinds County, and Hinds County dished that money out to have that parking garage built there in the funding area.
So,
Kind of
so,
like what
so
happened
you,
down at the Western Hotel before I got there.
so you're saying you spearheaded that? Are you saying that, brother?
I'm telling you that you're talking to the guy that is on the phone that negotiated with the lieutenant governor on that funding, that parking garage, in order to make it happen. They wanted it to happen, but they did not want to give the money to the city of Jackson because they said if they gave it to the city of Jackson, perhaps it won't happen.
It would
And
disappear.
so they called me to a meeting. I went to a meeting at the state capitol, and I met with the lieutenant governors and others there and guaranteed them that we would make it happen. And that's how the funding. I was there the whole time while it was being built, just a little small time when it was finished that I wasn't there.
Let me make a little jump here right now, since you are on the line. People are asking me how is your case coming out, man?
Well, we are actually in recess at the moment. This is our second time going into a 30-day recess. I think that we're doing very, very well. I think we have proven our case. I think we have over-proven our case because the facts are the facts, and the judges have to make ruling of the law on the facts. And we have proved that the integrity of this election, that election in 2023, there was a bunch of irregularities. You know, signature books, we could not confirm, not just 100 votes or 1,000 votes. We couldn't confirm any votes. The whole entire voting machine in 25 voting machine of the 26 precincts was gone, missing, nowhere to be found. So we couldn't even look at the serial numbers and said that we had the correct voting machine. Tally sheets that left with the voting machine in the morning saying that there was 0 votes on that particular machine. We don't have those tally sheets. And when the election was over with, we did not have a number from what the numbers was when the election was over with and the numbers that actually came out of those machines. So we approved all of those points. The law say that if you can't confirm the election from 4 or 5 different ways, then there ought to be a new election. The sitting supervisor must vacate that seat, and we run that election over. It's been tough. It's been 2.5 years, but we're still fighting. We're on the battlefield, and we're not going to leave it until the war is over with.
Well,
I want to answer one question concerning the jail that is being built in Hinds County. Are you there, sir?
yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. That jail is perhaps one of the biggest projects that the Board of Supervisors created when I was on that board. And we had to come up with a way, and I led the fight to find a way not to put the burden on the taxpayers of Hinds County and the taxpayers in all these municipalities around here. I was in every negotiating meeting in order to get that jail built and to find the property to do that, to build that jail with. And it was creative financing that they did not put the burden on the taxpayers. Now, unless they have created a bond since I left there, there was no bond for that jail when I was there. And I wouldn't have voted for a bond for that jail as long as I was there. What we did was did a creative financing. The guy that is in charge of building the jail brought multiple financing agencies to the table, along with Hinds County. Our goal was to come up with a good down payment to get the jail built. At that point, we would make monthly payments, yearly payments, in order to have the jail built. And we was in a good financial situation when I was there. There was a lot of times that we didn't spend money on things that we did not need to spend money on. Last but not least, when I came into that seat, we was in a deficit. We was in millions and millions of dollars of deficit. When I left in 2023, we had a surplus in Hinds County. Hinds County was in great shape because if you notice, they kept me on the news fighting to make sure that that money went into places and areas that it needed to go into. $20 million for Mega Ellis Boulevard, making sure that credit unions did not receive money that they didn't supposed to get from Hinds County. Other dollars and cents that I thought to make sure that that money stayed in the budget to repair roads and bridges and streets. And so Hinds County was in great shape. And so last but not least, and I'm gonna say this to you, Hinds County will continue to be in good shape as long as you let the public knows what's going on. At the moment, the public don't know what's going on with Hinds County money, and that's where all the questions are at the table. I was fair and I was honest and I was upfront to let the public know where your tax dollar was going. I made absolutely sure as a supervisor to make absolutely sure that the public knew where Hinds County was spending this money, and I don't know whether or not that is happening today. And I thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling in, brother. Thank you, brother. And you can see that's what I'm saying. People out on the street, I'm so glad you came in, sister. You know, keep us informed. That's been our downfall, not knowing. Not knowing how things operate and not knowing, for like, for instance, this 79 million as opposed to 300 million.
I know. Yeah.
Right. So this parking garage and this bond issue and all this at some point would have come through or would have to come through. Is that your role?
Yeah. Now, he mentioning the jail, all of that was done prior to me coming.
Right.
You know, because even though I know who he is, but he was gone before I started working there.
Right.
So I never got a chance to work with him.
And I'm going to ask that question because you did say in phase one there was some bond money.
Right.
So this incumbent board is the one that voted on the bond.
Okay, so this is how it's working. Like he said, it was creative financing. We let's see, CMPDD they have the bonds.
Okay.
So they have the money. We're paying them. So it's almost like they borrowed the money and we're paying it back.
Okay.
So they're the face of the loan, the bond, but we're paying it.
The county.
The county was paying it. When I say we, they are the county.
Oh, okay. So again, as we go along here, you can look to hear from me because I mean, again, that's been our downfall. That's why people don't get encouraged to vote because they don't understand what's going on. They never will understand. But here's someone smart, sister like yourself.
They just need information so they'll know. And I get it. People, if I'm still stuck on that $200 million, it's like, oh my God, I can see why. Right. Somebody would have an issue because they're trying to figure out where's all the money going if you have all this money. But then that's not the case. So that was one big misconception because it's like, oh, that makes sense now. Why I keep getting a question because most of the people that know me and I tell them where I work, especially if they live in Hinds County, I get that question like, girl, where's the money?
Where's all that money?
Yeah, and I'm looking at like, well, what money talking about? It's only so much,
Right. So some come through you, but once you allocate it out,
right?
That's to do with.
That's correct.
Well, that's again, Brother Gary called in and talked about minority contracting, and I know that's not really your role. However, we are the government. Yeah. We are majority government. It should be the other people asking for minority set asides as opposed to us, but we still have that mentality. Yeah. Sister, I mean, I'm calling you sister.
That's fine. I get called that one too. It's fine. I answer to it.
But Dr. Mannix, I'm so glad you came. And you answered the questions for people. And I hope you agree to come back.
Yeah, I know I'll come with more information because I wasn't sure the questions that I was gonna be asked. But
Right.
I'll be better prepared next time.
Well, thank you again for coming in. We're gonna close out the show here. Appreciate you coming in. But,
Okay.
you know, again, people, we're gonna say, let's not forget, we gotta register to vote. Not only register to vote, we got to vote. Because again, we got to dispel this issue that we not the government. We are the government. And I would venture to say that if Jackson was still run by the Caucasian community, we wouldn't have this brilliant sister sitting next to me here. You know, and that's just the way it was. I'm talking fact now. But we are in a position now that we need to understand the amount of control that we have in this county and in this city. Appreciate you listening. We'll be back next week. Take us out, Hattie.
That's interesting. Yeah, do a guess, huh? They don't want to let y'all lose.